What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here on my channel. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. So as many of you know, the stock NIO has been going pretty crazy over the past, we'll just call it 2 days, 3 days since its IPO or initial public offering. Again, there's been a lot of people trading it. A lot of money has been made on the stock. I have made some great profits. So in total, for really the last 2 days since the stock NIO became public, there were 2 days, which was Thursday and Friday, that I actively traded the stock, where I ended up netting about $20,000 profit from Thursday to Friday. So a lot of people have asked me to do a full recap on the stock and kind of, where I traded it, how I was trading it. So today I'm going to walk you through all of the trades that I made on the stock. Well, not all of them, because I did trade it quite a bit. So there are a few trades in there that are so small or so minuscule that there are almost no point to really even discussing them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually show you all the trades that I made on the stock. So in total, from Thursday to Friday, I actively traded the stock about 15 to 16 times. So I actively was in and out of the stock 16 times. So there's really 16 trades where I went in and sold. If you count all the ins, taking some, and then getting out fully, it would be up in the numbers of 20, 25 trades. So in regards to just buying and closing out a full order, I was probably trading it about 14 to 16 times. So over the course from Thursday to Friday, with the amount of times I traded it, I was able to net about a $20,000 profit. So what I was doing was more of a scalp trading, style on the stock. Ironically, most people are going to think that I caught the massive big moves on it, when in reality, I was just playing the small moves. I actually didn't hit any of the big ones. I missed them just barely. And then I was able to actually do a lot of scalp trading off the 50 EMAs and these small little plays that worked out perfect. I'm very good at doing reversal trades and scalp trades. So that's kind of what I geared towards as I seen NIO kind of going crazy. All right, so we're going to get into sharing the screen here. So just give me just a quick second. All right, so now you guys can see the screen. This is exactly what NIO looks like. Okay, so there's been some big moves on it. We've seen the stock go from basically $5 to a high of $14.39. Before we actually get into the trades, I'm going to show you guys, if you can see this. Hopefully the video will pick it up good enough. So here is my end day profit by the closing bell on Thursday. So on Thursday's trading, I netted a total of $16,380 minus some commission, so it was more or less closer to like $16,200. So I netted $16,380 in total on Thursday's trading by the end of the day. I also held 1,000 shares of NIO overnight. My average on those 1,000 shares was like 1089. And as you guys know, the stock popped all the way to a high of like 1430 pre-market. I ended up selling around like 1280 or something. So I also made another $2,000 profit overnight. So if you look here, you can see that in total on NIO, I made $12,942 on NIO Thursday. This isn't including the profit that I made on the overnight swing trade with 1,000 shares. So I also added about another $2,000 profit to that 13,000. So right there, the morning of Friday, I was sitting up in total about $15,000 profit on NIO. And then I also nailed about a $6,000 trade on it on Friday. So we're going to kind of walk through the major trades, the bigger ones, and kind of give you an idea as far as, how I was trading it and what I was doing. So with the amount of trades I made and the profit I made, I was averaging about $1,400 per trade. But I made most of my money on just a few trades. All right. So we're going to kind of walk through all these trades and kind of give you guys an idea as far as what I was doing. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to show you my trades. It's going to get very busy. So for some of you, it might get kind of complicated when I put all these trades on there, because I was actively trading it so much in and out in scalp trading that there was a lot of trades made. So the chart right now is going to get a little busy. All right, so watch what happens when I show my trades and I hit apply. Look at all that. You see all these buys and all these sells. That was how active I was trading this thing on Thursday. And as you can see, I wasn't as active on Friday because there's only a few trades that I made on it. All right. So if I zoom in here, I'm gonna go to just a 2-day, 1-minute chart. If it allows, there we go. Go up. So we're gonna do 2 days. We're gonna do 1 minute. All right, so we're gonna zoom in. So you can see I was busy in actively trading. So in terms of a trader, that is a lot of trades to make in a day. I will mention this, right? That is getting into the realm of over trading for sure, right? That many trades even on one stock is a lot. You'll never catch me trading this much on any given stock unless it was performing like NIO. There were multiple attempts to make money on it, and I kept seeing those opportunities, so I kept jumping on them, right? So in terms of trading, as traders, this is what we live for. We live for the day that we find stocks like this where we can just nail them all day long. Now, I could have very well traded this less and made the same amount of money if I were holding it all day long. But again, I am not the best when it comes to holding things all day long. I'm more of a guy that likes to get in, get my money, and get the hell out. And if another opportunity presents itself, I'll do that as well, and I'll do it over and over and over. So this is a style of momentum in scalp trading that I was using on NIO. Now, I don't always scalp trade, and sometimes I hold things longer, but particularly on this stock, it was up very big on the day. So I took the approach of doing in what I would call a safer approach, which is just in and out, finding the key levels to buy, getting out, walking away with some money, and then finding a new entry, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to zoom in here. Now, I'm not going to lie. There was 2 times on the day, right? I could have made way more money, far more money than I did, but there was 2 times where I just made very beginner mistakes that I don't typically make. For whatever reason I did, I made 2 very, very rookie mistakes on the stock that really costed me, I would say, probably $14,000 to $15,000 profit. If I would have just held it like I should have, I would have been looking at probably about another $15,000 to maybe even $20,000 profit on the day, and I would have been able to end my day up 30, maybe even $40,000. But again, that is what it is, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So we'll go into my first trade here. This is one of my very, very big, this was just a rookie mistake, hands down. Looking back, hindsight 20, and I didn't even have to go hindsight 2020. I mean, once I did it, I'm like, that was so dumb. Why did I get out, right? I didn't even have to look back an hour later to realize I was an idiot. I knew it right then and there. I kind of just got shook out. So my first trade here was a $4,000 share position right here on this candle. Basically, and there's a lot of trades that I took on this, so we're going to speed most of this up. This isn't going to be like a full-fledged lesson, just kind of going to give you the basics of what I was doing. All right, so if I had to put it simply, right, I entered here on this candle, this green candle, then I ended up exiting on the top of, did I exit on the top of that green candle? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, because that would have been, or no, yeah, I didn't exit on the top of that green candle. I just exited right before that candle broke over 8. So basically what was happening here is, if I zoom out again, and we look back at the beginning of the day, so you have the big move on NIO. I didn't get any, so actually we'll do this. I didn't get any of that move. I didn't get any of this move, okay? So I missed those 2 big moves, like a knucklehead. Then I missed this big move right here. I missed half of that big move. So the funny part is, right, and I missed I missed this big move. So the funny part is, with the amount of money I actually made, I didn't even trade any of the massive big moves on the stock. So it just goes to show that you don't always have to be nailing the most perfect trade to still make money too. So that's the ironic part, is when most people see the thumbnail in this video where I make $20,000 trading NIO, they're gonna be like, oh, well, he probably just captured the big moves. But in reality, I didn't capture any of the big moves. Now, I will tell you that some of the style of trading that I was doing, you do have to be a little bit more skilled of a trader to take the entries I was taking and getting out when I was getting out, with the amount of size I was getting out. This is not going to be something your typical everyday investor or trader will be doing. This is when you get to a level of skill that is, far higher than most of your traders in the game. All right, so when it comes down to it here, So this is my first trade, right, that we already talked about, where I hopped in 4,000 shares at $7.90, and then I ended up exiting at $7.97. So I made 7 cents a share, almost 8 cents a share on that trade. I ended up making a couple $100. All right. So the reason I hopped in here, and I should have never got out, is we went through the big push already, and we were starting to trend up into a little bit of a symmetrical triangle breakout. So I bought right here at the end of that triangle just before the breakout. And then for whatever reason, I got scared and I sold before it started really breaking out, because I seen a bunch of sellers on the ask and I got nervous when I usually don't get nervous. And so I ended up, getting scared that maybe these sellers were going to hold it down and it would crash or something. So I ended up hopping out, and that was a very rookie mistake, because as you can see, we went from my entry was 790, and then this hit a high of a 979. So let's just say I rode it from 790 to 879, 4,000 shares. You're looking at what, 790, 8. You're looking at almost an $8,000 trade there. Now I wouldn't have held all those 4,000 shares all the way up on this, so we would have never made $8 grand on that trade. But regardless, you get the point. I sold that for no reason. Okay, so that was my first trade, very rookie mistake, where I bought in and then just exited right there. So basically nothing. My second trade is a style of reversal scalp trading that is very hard to do as a beginner, because you just don't have all the skills and experience there to fully understand what's taking place a lot of the times on these trades. So my next trade was a 10,000 share position. I can tell you from here on out, I was scalping 10,000 shares every time. So to make the amount of money I did, I was using a lot of money. So, people go, oh, well, you took 10,000 shares to make that money. Yeah. You ever hear the term, it takes money to make money? It's not a lie. So again, if you have a smaller account, don't anticipate you can come in and play these same moves as I was making and come anywhere near to making the amount of money I was making. All right. So looking here, my next trade was a reversal scalp trade where the stock was crashing off the highs. It was dropping, dropping, dropping. It was the first attempt here at the 50 moving average. So I anticipated and basically knew we were going to bounce. So as soon as the candle broke through, right? So we had the big sell off from the high at 979 down where it crashed. It broke the 50 moving average just slightly. As soon as this green candle turned green, I looked at the level 2. The ask was increasing. I knew they were going to start reversing back to the upside. So I instantly longed 10,000 shares at $8.36 and sold those 10,000 shares at $8.67. So right there, all in all, was about a 30 some odd gain, close to 40 cents. So right there on that trade, I made about 3,000, close to $4,000 maybe. All right. On to the next one. Moving forward to my next trade. Now, this is where things got started picking up for me, I would say. All right, so my next trade was simply kind of looking at this and realizing it was a little mini bull flag, right? You could see here the stock had popped up and then it was trending down like this. So I seen this as like a little mini bull flag, maybe a little symmetrical triangle. All right, so I hopped in long 10,000 shares at $9.17, and then I sold 7,000 shares at $9.43, and then another 1,500 shares at $9.42. I held some throughout this like dip here. I ended up adding $8,000 at 950, or sorry, 8,000 shares at 954. I sold 7,000 at $7 or $9.72. So as you can kind of see here, there was a mix where I entered long here with 10,000. I ended up keeping on, that would be 8,500. I ended up keeping on 1,500 shares to ride out. So I made a good chunk of money there on that trade. Then I added back in 10,000 shares here, anticipating we were kind of breaking up on this candle right there. So I ended up taking more, selling some more. So all in all, that was another profitable trade there. All right, moving forward. Let's continue. We just went there. All right. So this one was kind of like a little iffy. I was just watching the stock trending up, and then this entry here at 10,000 shares was anticipating that we might start breaking over the previous highs, which we did. And I didn't take any of the profits here because I was looking for a bigger move. I thought that this is what happened, right? On this trade right here. So I'm going to circle it. On this trade right here, this is where I thought we were getting ready to go like this. Right? That's where I honestly thought we were getting ready to push, because we've been trending up and it just kind of looked like it was getting ready to squeeze. So that was the one I held and didn't take any profit, and then ended up coming down. I mean, I think I lost maybe like $200 on that. It really wasn't much. Okay. So then on to our next trade, right? So that's the thing, right? You remember how I said I thought this is where we're going to go pushing up, right? So I bought in here, And then we ended up getting a really bearish move down, which was right. Let me zoom in. All right. So I hopped in long 10,000 anticipating, this was the big move I was looking for. And then we got this super bearish engulfing candle. We started rolling over. I'm like, oh, well, I'm not going to risk that. So I took it off for a small loss. And then look what happened, right? Just a little bit longer. It ended up going through a nice push. And so then, of course, I missed that, didn't trade it. Okay. So moving forward, then what did I do? I traded the same strategy as I did before right here. You see this trade? 10,000 shares long. I popped in at 10,000 shares at $10.12. I ended up selling those 10,000 at $10.35. So right there, what did I make? I made about another 20 cents. So that was about a 2,000, maybe a little bit more than a $2,000 trade there. This was the same strategy as I used earlier in the day, the 50 moving average tag right there. Okay, you can see that where we dropped and then we hit that 50 EMA and bounced, right? So then moving back, that's the exact same strategy. And I use a strategy again. That's the exact same strategy I used there. Though the drop on this wasn't as big, I didn't anticipate this initial move would be as big. So I did a 10,000 share scalp there. All right. Then, as you can see here, this is one of my more appropriate, trades that was a little bit better that I even still sold out too early. Which was right here, right? I could see that this thing bounced, was curling up, setting up for a new breakout. And as you can see, what did I do? I bought in right on that ascending triangle, breakout right there on that big green candle, 10,000 shares at $10.85, wrote it up to $11.83, sold those 10,000 shares. That was another pretty big gain because that's 15. 15 plus 8, that's going to put you at 23. So 10,000 shares, that was about a $2,300 trade there. And as you can see, then we went through the massive push. So from right here, I got in at 10,000 shares, 1085. It ripped up to a high of 1271. So you do the math. I just basically missed, 1085 to 1185 would have been 10,000, right? And then we moved from 1185 to 1260. So that would have been basically a $20,000 trade if I would have held close to the highs and I didn't. So again, right? Not the most perfect trading, that's for sure. All right. So then my next trade, as you can see, it's getting kind of busy. My next trade in here, I actually made a mistake. I got a little FOMO and jumped the gun too early. I took 10,000 shares on this candle before I would let it test the 50 EMA, which was a mistake. So I ended up taking, I think, like a $1,000 loss here on this trade where I hopped in on this red candle, dropped down, and it was just too early to jump the gun. So I jumped the gun on that trade a little, but that was okay because as soon as I got in and realized I was wrong, I cut my losses. I ended up losing about $1,200 or maybe $1,300, right around there. And then the next trade was simply the same strategy that I was using all day on the 50 EMA tag. So we crashed. We tapped the 50 moving average. I longed 10,000 shares at $11.13. And I rode that up to $11.16. So right there was about a $5,000 trade for me. And then I took another scalp trade in here, anticipating a new break. We didn't get one, so I took a long at 1189, 10,000 shares. Realized it was a bad trade. Took it off at 1177, so I lost about $1,000 there. And then there's a few more little scalp trades in here for some small money. And then this one right here was my last entry of the day, which was $1,000 or 1,000 share position that I ended up holding overnight. That would lead into the next morning, which I would sell right there for about another $2,000 profit. Moving forward, this was my big trade on Friday where I was watching the stock crash. This is one of my favorite plays, which is a reversal scalp trade, right? So we had a massive sell-off, a panic sell, a panic crash, followed by, a perfect reversal play. We have a red buyer's candle followed by a green buyer's candle that was also trending up. So for one, we have buyer wicks, so that's signaling a reversal. These are buyer's candles at the bottom of a massive move to the downside, big gap in between the 9 moving average and the price action. So everything was setting itself up perfectly for a nice reversal long. We also had the 1-minute candles providing higher lows on their wicks. Again, as soon as I watched this candle go green and realized the ask was increasing, I hopped in long 10,000 shares at $9.98 just before 10. We got the break over $10, the break over the previous green, the candle squeezed from, and basically I got in at 998. The candle goes from 998 to a high of 1051, where I sell out all my 10,000 shares for a profit of about $6,000, close to, because we got, so 998, that's 2 cents, so that's 200, that's 300. Yeah, so we ended up making about $5,400 on that particular trade right there. Then there was another small trade here where I realized I wasn't going to go, so I ended up exiting. And then that there, ladies and gentlemen, basically is a recap of most of the majority, if not all of the trades that I made on NIO. So again, there's a lot of trading going on there, and I can't specifically go into every single trade, all the whys, the why nots, because there were so many, right? But when there's an active stock like this, and you are at a level of trading like me, you can trade it a little bit more than you typically would, because you'll start to understand where things are going to move. You can get in, you can get out, you can make some nice money. You could be someone who rides it up all day long. I'm not usually the one that does that. I usually find the key moments where I think a stock is going to move, and then I'll try and trade it. Because here's the thing, the way I look at it, and it doesn't matter, everybody has their own style, but at the end of the day, if you think about it, if a stock moves on average $5 a day, most of the money and easy money to be made on that stock is going to be during the big move, right? And then of course there's usually going to be some choppy trading that pushes it a little higher. But at the end of the day, as a day trader, I'm here to make the easy money and majority of the money. I'm not trying to sit, wait around, play the what if it does this, what if it does that. I just basically cancel out all the what ifs. What if it does this? What if it doesn't do that? And I just find out when it's about to move, and I trade that and go, okay, well, this is what it's doing. I'll get in here, watch it go up, sell it out. If it wants to keep going, it is what it is. If it pulls back, I'll look like I'm a genius. And then if it sets itself up later again in the day, then I'll hop in and I'll trade it again. And that's what I kind of seen going on with NIO. So it gave me the opportunity to be getting in and out of it all day long for some nice profits. So again, you guys kind of seen the screenshot there. I also have the live trading recap video from Friday's trading. So if at any point you think some of this, is too good to be true and there's no way he did that and blah, 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 just take a second to go through some of my videos. I do a recap, and not necessarily a recap, but a recording of my trading session every day. So every day when we trade live with our premium members or our private group members, which you can also join, it's the first link in the description of the video. We trade live with them every day. So they get to see this making these moves every single day. And we record that so that when we get done, we can upload it to YouTube so you guys can still learn from it, but actually kind of see what's going on a day-to-day basis from my trading, right? So there is a video on YouTube. It'll be one of the last ones I uploaded, making $7,000 profit in the day. That was primarily due to this big reversal play that I traded on NIO. So if you want to watch me actually trading that setup that I just circled in yellow, you can do so by checking out the last video that I uploaded that's tagged $7,000 profit in 30 minutes. And that's primarily from that trade right there. So again, right, so it's not that it's too good to be true. It takes a long time to get to the level of trading that I'm at. But I can tell you this, guys, NIO is probably going to be a pretty active stock here over the next week. There's a lot of hype around it, a lot of people talking about it. So I do see this as a pretty good stock to trade. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of just do a short recap on the most important trades so I can give you guys an idea of why it is that I was trading them. All right. So we're going to take off all the trades so it doesn't look all gross and disgusting. All right, let's do that. So the main takeaway, so I'm going to show you guys my most profitable trades on the stock. So I'm just going to kind of just put an arrow at them. That won't work. Watch, I'll just walk you through them. All right, so my most profitable trades really were the 50 moving average bounces. So something to understand about a 50 EMA bounce, the 50 moving average is this red line. If you don't have it on your chart, you can easily put it on your chart. I have videos how to do that. You can search it up. We won't go through that right now, but it won't be colored red. It's whatever color you make it, right? So my 50 moving average is red. You might have yours as green, purple, pink, blue, doesn't matter. So something to understand about a 50 moving average bounce scalp trade that I was doing is when we see stocks like this get pushed up and up and up and overvalued, eventually they usually come crashing down and they'll just run right into the 50 moving average. And the first attempt at the 50 moving average usually will result in a bounce. And if you can get really good at reading the time and sales and understanding when the level 2 is flipping, which means right, the ask starts to increase. That means sellers are starting to ask more for the shares they're trying to sell, which then usually means we're going to start pushing back up. You can scalp those 50 EMA moves. Okay, so again, right there, you can see the stock got overvalued. It came crashing down right into the 50 moving average. The ask flips. I take the long, scalp the trade, and boom, that's all we needed right there for like a $3,000, $2,000 win. All right, moving forward. Again, here we go. Big push to the upside. Stock drops really hard right into the 50 moving average. I scalped the bounce off the 50. And then I actually sold out and it ended up going higher. I didn't anticipate that. I really didn't. Now, again, here we go. Ready? Big push to the upside. Big crash to the downside. Right to the 50 moving average. I scalped that bounce for a nice win again. All right. Going over. Now, this one's a little different. This is what we call a massive panic sell to the downside. Panic, crashing. Super overextended to the downside. And as you can see, there's a big gap in between the 9 moving average and the price action. So when stocks panic sell to the downside like this, they will end up getting very extended from the lows of the candle right there to the blue line, which is my 9 moving average. That causes a gap, and we'll most likely see the stock bounce all the way back to that 9 moving average, and then that's where we'll start coming back down. So then that's why I took that 10,000 share position. So this move right here, ready? Look at this. This move is the exact same move as this over here, but just backwards. Right? Big move up, crashes. Though this one didn't bounce on the 50 moving average, there's a reason, or the 9, there's a reason why. We won't go into it, but this is basically the same move. This is a move up where short sellers would short the top, right? This is a move down where buyers are going to buy this low and push it back up, right? So it's the same thing, just backwards, right? This is a panic sell down followed by a reversal long. This is a momentum play up followed by a short move down. Okay, it's all the same thing, just backwards on charts sometimes. Okay, so the main takeaway from this, and also here's the other thing: when a stock gets overvalued like this really fast, the harder it comes down, the better the bounce is. Okay, just like this one, right? The harder it came down, the bigger the bounce was. Right now, look at this. So imagine these ones, these 2 really big moves down. Look how big the bounce is. Okay. Let me scroll over. Okay, next thing is you see this one, very aggressive move up, aggressive move down right to the 50 moving average, strong bounce. Okay, now look at this one. Okay, geez, come on. Now if you look at this guy here, where is it at? Like this one right here. This one was just kind of it was still a hard drop, but pretty steady down. Look at the bounce. So the bounce was really, what I'm referring to is this bounce is from the 50 back up on like the first 2 candles, right? Pretty big. It ended up kind of curling, and that's a secondary move, right? This curl here was a secondary move. It wasn't really, it is a part of the bounce, but it's a secondary move within the bounce. Versus this one, look at this. This candle pops. Look at them squeeze right up. Look at these two. So just something to note, that the harder the fall into the 50 moving average, usually the bigger the bounce. And just remember that it doesn't always work 100%, but I can tell you it's usually the first attempt at the 50 moving average. So what I mean by that is if this stock came up, bounced on the 50 moving average, then rolled over to test the 50 moving average, again, that's usually where it's going to break. Okay. Again, real quick. When the stock goes up and then it crashes down to the 50 moving average, that's the first attempt where we usually get a bounce. Then the bounce might kind of fail, roll over. I would not suggest buying it on the second attempt when it hits the 50 moving average, because that is usually the one that fails the 50 and then we go down. All right. So again, ladies and gentlemen, that there is all I have for you here on today's video. So I hope that Hope that helps you guys kind of determining a little bit more about the style of trading that I do, and just kind of some inspiration to know that once you learn enough of it and you do it enough, you can start to kind of understand the way that stocks will naturally move, and you'll be the one to take advantage of it. So that is my recap there. There's a lot going on, so I hope that there is some good information there for you guys. But again, that is my full recap there on the stock NIO. I would anticipate that we're going to see still some pretty active trading here the next couple days on the stock, even into the next couple weeks. It is a recent IPO. There's branding that it's the stock similar to Tesla. So there's a lot of news and a lot of hype revolving around this stock. And if at any point you guys would like to join into our private trading group so you can watch me do this live, you can join in with us, you can ask questions, you can have a course, you can have classes 2 times a week, you can be having stock scanners. So basically just joining yourself into a community of traders, like-minded individuals. We have a very diverse group, lots of traders, large cap traders, swing traders, day traders, some options traders. We got a whole team around of us. So again, if you guys want to join into that group, it'll be the first link in the description of the video. If you're somebody who's been trading for a long time, still having some trouble, and you need some extra help, it would definitely be a great idea for you to join our team. We're going to be one of the, not one of the most affordable stock trading groups and courses and educational programs anywhere on the market. So definitely a great team to be a part of. Anyways, thank you guys again for joining in, and stay tuned for the next video. As always, please do give me a like, share, and subscribe before you head out the door, as you see this video provides much value. All right, guys, take care, and thank you once again.